Good morning. All right. Market just refuses to give it up. Yesterday, it looked like the turn was in place, but buyers brought it back again. And you can see on the futures, got this, whatever it's called, tails on both sides with the open and close in the middle there. In other words, it whipped up, whipped down, back up, and ended the day pretty much where it started. Uh, so here you can see the close several days ago, next day close, yesterday, about the same thing. And we'll see where today goes. So one of the things that we spoke about earlier in the week was, as this went up, maybe we get the turn sideways, blah, blah, blah. And I talked about, this going up and the congestion to the left. And if it could go sideways for several days and then turn down, it could come down a lot easier rather than, the normal kind of a pullback. There's plenty of little reference points intraday there. So the whole concept of a void is one in which it creates the void through a rapid price movement and then goes sideways over time. And then as it comes down, those reference points to the left become less meaningful as such. Now, it could go sideways and be a resting period for a launching pad to go higher. In reality, we really don't know. But common sense, right? Market doesn't always adhere to common sense. Is that after a run like this, pullbacks are historically a normal event. So yesterday looked like it was going to happen. It didn't. So the internals, which we haven't looked at this week, we can see them over here. And what I've done is I've marked the normal bearish and bullish levels to put this market in perspective. So static levels, historically bullish, would be coming down to 1.2. That hasn't been visited in quite some time. The normal bearish static level would be 0.80, which we can see it just, stays above that. And these bands that I created many, many years ago adjust for bullish and bearish markets. And I've never seen them stay this high for this long and go sideways. So, markets change, interesting times. And so now we see it's entering the lower bearish extreme band. And breadth is at an extreme and curled over a little bit. So we're in an area that says, hey, like yesterday, be careful on the long side was part of the theme that titled in the YouTube video. Risk for longs is rising, but nobody cares, right? So nobody still cares. I would watch today to see if this turns out to be a red day. There's several days up here. If we get a red day closing under its open and below the close, kind of becomes a little bit more powerful as a pattern that prices could pull back. And as I said, the sideways move and so on could open up the door to a pullback to one of these rising moving averages, which is still all bullish. When you got moving averages rising like this, 20 and 50, while corrections are going to happen, they're assumed to be within the limits of what's going on here. And one of the things that we like, right, about this particular move is the potency or authority in which it took out this prior high. So while these pullbacks have been ragged, so to speak, and getting up and pulling back hard, they never broke support. And so this one is a little more strength, and then momentum slowed, distance between the highs. But this one increased the distance between the highs. So while a pullback here could be a little bit more, scary, so to speak, in the short term, just because or present more opportunities in the short term to pull back, it still would be in the context of a prior strong move. And internals are telling us, hey, continue to tell us here, even at these upper extremes for this market, it's likelihood that we're going to see something, and maybe that comes tomorrow, in the end of the week. We'll see what today brings. Let's look at the other markets. NQs, right? Same bar. Things came down to the level where we had marked off previously, and buyers showed up there aggressively and created a V bottom. And so yesterday in the room, for those of you on YouTube, just a little update, I actually, and some in the room did, if I get the time right, I think it was right around here, somewhere around here or here. I don't know. I shorted the S&Ps actually, but we'll stay here. And then it refused to roll over, and then we went long. And up it went. And so it kind of continues to be a whippy market. And same kind of a bar, closed above the open on the Dow. But still the same jagged move back down, hit support, back up again. And, this kind of depicts more of what I was referring to as the pivots along the way that were created, strong move, and this going sideways over several days, and intraday moving prices over to the right and away from these reference points. So if this eventually begins to roll and then breaks this level, which now has been tested again, it opens up the door to, short-term or relatively potentially significant corrective move within the subtrend. This has been the strongest, right? There was the wide range bar, excuse me, going sideways, a little different variation, but same thing going on. And down into the support, coming back up, right? Same story. Bonds holding here a little bit within this downtrend. Our expectation is that they'll come down into this level here, where buyers will be more confident to step up. And of course, shorts that are holding this or shorting new opportunities, they're going to cover down here. Right? So that continues to move lower. Oil down a little bit this morning, and a similar kind of a pattern. Right? So oil has been kind of a measure as to the markets and moving in a similar way. So see oil start to drop at some point, and this looks like a greater potential for it to do so. And you can see the closes are about the same as the markets, but the distance to break the prior day's low, which you can see here, up, prior day's low, never broken. And so will that happen today? Well, set an alert. We'll see. And, thank you, Glenn. So, Glenn, I appreciate the accolades and the SPX review that we do 3 times a week. But if I ever totally blow it, you can say that, just to be transparent. And gold, I don't know, what? Can it hold here? Meaning, we're staying away from this because it's confusing with, the time frames are out of alignment, which is confusing. So this retest here, can it hold and get back up here? So what should happen is we have a sell set up here on the daily under the moving averages, topping tail yesterday, right? Where this should begin to pull back based on this pattern. However, if I mean, it's in the green room, you guys will remember that we did a S&P trade earlier this week where our expectation was that the sell setup that occurred on the 5-minute chart should fail. And it did exactly that. And so that would be what I would look for here. And so you say, well, why would I think a sell setup would fail here? Well, not that this is totally bullish, but it's holding up and potentially this is a breakdown failure. So a failed sell setup is what should happen here to support a bias that this weekly time frame is setting up, that this is creating a new support point to move higher. So wait to see if that happens. A lot of commercials about silver lately. You notice that on the TV? A lot of people touting silver. And so this pattern right here, you see where it came up to and back down from normal. It's building like a new support after this nasty drop. And so this may take a little time, but keeping an eye on that. And the euro had a nice move up here. We're talking about the dollar strengthening a couple of weeks ago, and that did happen, and the euro came down to this support. And so it'll be interesting to see what this does here, where this closes this week, because this is setting up as a buy setup on the weekly time frame. Now, as we look at multiple time frames, right, this is not a buy setup. It's actually a retracement up into resistance. So this is a somewhat similar situation where the sell setup, which this isn't a good sell setup because of the depth of retracement off of the low. This is the kind of pattern that should result in a shakeout pattern where it breaks down and then it goes sideways at resistance and then moves higher. So we'll see how that plays out next week. Euro looks identical to gold futures. Yes, similar. Yes, somewhat similar. Under all the moving averages, nasty drop, and you can see the 200 way down here. But so the euro has been in a bullish uptrend for quite a while, and you could see on the weekly pulling back to the 20 and buy setup, where the gold is kind of trying to repair the damage where it violated its. Yeah. So it's similar in that it's forming a sell setup that fail, but this has definitely been more of a bull market than gold. And lastly, our transports, which right back up to the top of the range, which is okay. It broke the range. It was a break, turned out to be a failure of a breakdown. This is never a breakdown that we would short because it's a greater than 100% retracement. So now that this is retraced all the way back up to resistance, I would say, this is kind of running out of gas in its, journey to where the sellers are. And so with that in mind, thinking, okay, well, we can look at SPX, topping up there, starting to top, and this running up to resistance would make sense, that we're going to get some kind of pullback. And, let's, whether that happens by the end of this week or next week, I think, that's the bias. And, we'll wait for some confirmation and a break of some support, which has been holding so far. And until that happens, this is going to be choppy and, spreads will work. And there's, the stocks that have been doing well. And so there you have it. To you, Dan.
Good morning, everyone. Look at Greg, look at Ron's comment. He's detoxing. That is funny. Good job. All right. All right, all of our opens are fine. Even though we started trimming and cutting and tightening stops, we still have a ton of open positions. And every single one of them are long, except Futu. we have a call spread and also Teton call spread for Friday. So those are both fine. Cannabis stocks have been crazy on fire. And I actually just saw a headline on CNBC that said, cannabis stocks have been on fire because of the Reddit has been pushing them. So we got to keep a better pulse on that. What Reddit and Robinhood traders are doing, because even though it may not be a short squeeze, I don't care about that per se, even though that is better. If those guys get behind something and we apply our approach and it's a bullish pattern, then that's just extra fuel. Extra fuel. Sandal was one that we gave in the green room. Today's Thursday, so Tuesday. Look at that thing, was up almost to $5 pre-market. So today's pre-market gap and crap. Look, Tilray $75 pre-market, and now it's negative. This just based on this evidence, 95% certainty that it's a short-term top right now. We still have a number of open marijuana trades, like 5 of them, but we've been legging into covered calls. Many of them capping our gains, unfortunately, but we followed our method and they got extended, and that's what we do. So somebody asked yesterday about, hey, should we roll the calls? And I said, absolutely not, because because they're climactic. I would prefer to take all our profits and look to reload. Maybe it takes 3 weeks to set up, but then we can get a better, like this. It was extended here. It was extended here, and look, 3 weeks. It gave us a beautiful new setup right there. That was your bar, and then we've been core long MJ and a number of these things from the original breakout in January. So we've been doing very well on these things. All right, so that's it. But that sandal, somebody told me, was a top Robinhood trade yesterday. YouTube's asking about Twitter short. Not yet, not yet. It was on my list yesterday for a gap and crap, and it's still holding too bullish. Hey, Rengen, your drop down. Rengen's asking about F-cell. Rengen, I have no idea what you want to do with that. Been a strong uptrend, bearish engulfing, gapping up to resistance. I just see nothing there. Infi 474. It's total mess, low quality. TRX gap into $1. I don't know what sector they're in, but it's very possible. It has the potential to be a Reddit type of pump. 3050, yeah. I like the gap from this consolidation. That would be a beautiful put spread candidate. Go out the next week. McGraw under 2570. So that looks great for a put spread. Or day trade also. See how it sets up. John asking about adding Futu on a bounce and KDMN. We're actually in. Oh, I didn't see the gap down. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay. All right, yeah, it's here in my open positions. All right, yeah, we're in this. It's a bio, so obviously higher risk. We'll do 30-minute low. I mean, that's a bearish gap, and that's some of the risk. Yeah, it has to be. You don't get a move like that with the market gapping up. It's just 99% certainty. And they're asking about Futu adding on a bounce. Yeah, maybe 30-minute low. Sure. Yeah, we entered a half lot yesterday. Aurora, yeah, that's news. That thing's all over the place. We sold a put spread yesterday. Tehran's asking about a couple here. Chris, PGRE, gapping up. Yeah, yeah, that's put spread. Fine. It's gapping up. Go through the checklist. That one's garbage. I don't like that at all. But the checklist is pattern, liquidity, no pending news, good credit for the strike and time to expiration. CPT, MAC. I can't tell where it's gapping, but yeah, it's under yesterday's low. MAC, CRNT. I doubt, it's hard to sell puts on a $5 stock. That one does have a retest and gapping up, maybe 30-minute high. MAC, yeah, I like the wide range igniting. Now look, I want to see what my monthly, yeah, look at the monthly. Monthly looks fantastic. That's another core trade. Downtrend, multi-year consolidation, breakout, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the best one right there. I gave iRobot here as a put spread candidate. I'm going to put Mac. Yeah, Mac looks great. Looks great. AMRX. Oh, Mac's a buyout. Come on, y'all are killing me with these bios. Yeah, Merrimack Pharmaceuticals. But I mean, can you drill down, go to Yahoo Finance and then hit the industry about us thing and see if it really does say bio, or, sometimes, they might say, hey, we make medical equipment for bios, and then I'm okay with that. But if anybody wants to check it out, it's kind of a 1, 2, 3. It's worth watching. I see it gapping up and down. ADTX. Yeah, I mentioned that one. Yeah, a few, Bandana. Yeah, I said yesterday you could buy that. OEG 910. 30-minute high. It's extended weekly, but resting, so 30-minute high. We started getting nervous yesterday on this morning collapse, thinking it was going to be the turn day. And then when I came back from lunch, the first thing I said was to Greg, oh, did we have a 1-hour bear market, pullback? Yeah, this market is just still resilient, but we have tons of opens. And Tony, IRM, it's up 4 bars, so it's kind of a continuation, but it's a bullish 15. So for a day trade, it's fine. BJ over yesterday's high is fine. I kind of like the turn and the retest, and you got a price void. McGraw, this is also a put spread under this big bars low. Candidate, you got to go through the checklist. John Van Tuin, your drop down. I'm gonna have to send you all a sticker to put on your computer whenever you log in. To remember to do that. Netflix, yeah, we already have a put spread, but I did say that I would consider one for next week. But I'm not gonna even think about next week until until into the close. Baba, we had a put spread and we closed it out at a dime yesterday. It's kind of in a trading range right here. Proud. Yeah, yeah. Reverse head and shoulders. Yeah, bullish weekly. That looks great. I like that one the best of those three. I'm gonna put that in a window too. That looks great. Crown FSRV. It's a wide range breakout. It had what we call an end of day rally and it's gapping up. So I think you would get a pullback. I think you can get a better entry, James. Austin. Yeah, I said yesterday. I mean, you shouldn't. I hope you're not in this, Austin. We stopped out. We sold a call spread right here on the breakdown, and then we got caught in news on Tuesday. And I did recommend legging into a put spread, but then when we got stopped out, I sent a telegram saying just get about it because it was too spready. MA is said they're going to start taking some crypto, so that's giving Bitcoin again. And look at that, Bitcoin gapping up $2,700. I can only guess that this is part of it. They're just they're just addicted to these big companies endorsing them. Any bit of good news is driving that thing. You got the millennials trading it. You got Elon Musk endorsing it. All right, Clever here was a gap. I saw it this morning, gap in the 20 and change, so it was a gap and craft candidate, and now it's red also. That might set up for day trade short. Um, Yeah, McGraw's telling me about I posted pool as a short watch, gapping down here. So this is a bear call credit spread watch pool. I'm gonna put that in a window. On WBA, we are long, but I also said this is a put spread candidate. This looks great. Now this one I would do a put spread for next week under on 49 bucks. So there's another I got 3 put spread candidates already now. I see this iRobot here selling off now, so I'm not going to be in a rush to enter that. Well, Jake, I wouldn't say every call spread's a dud, but I will agree as a general comment that yeah, I mean when we have a market that is crazy bullish and every attempt to go down is failing, then absolutely, it's we're fighting a trend. Um, so yeah, I totally agree with that. AAL alarm going off here. Um, let's give it a 5-minute low at least. It might have hit the stop by a penny. There was an article in the journal that they're laying off 13,000 people. So let's just give it a tad bit of breathing room here, like 5 minutes.